Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So I will be doing a review for Bicentennial Man from 1999. This movie stars Robin Williams, Sam Neill, Beth Davids, Oliver Platt, Kirsten Warren, and a number of other actors throughout. However, those are the ones that are the main focus of this. Even Hallie Eisenberg, who a lot of people don't realize is actually related to the actor Jesse Eisenberg. It's his younger sister. She played the 7-year-old Little Miss, Amanda Martin. Beth Davids plays the adult version of Little Miss. And then also later plays the granddaughter of Little Miss, which is, what was her name? Portia Charney, because she marries a guy named Charney. But Robin Williams playing Andrew Martin, or rather the NDR robot that becomes Andrew Martin, is really well done. I mean, this is what he looks like, and then he ends up looking fully human by the end. This movie is a tearjerker. It's a gut buster. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It's a great movie. It's a great story that is told. And Robin Williams, God rest him, does a great performance in this film. A lot of people say that this film, or on Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 36. But honestly, this film is a way, way better than a 36. I mean, yes, you have some problems here and there with some writing. You have some continuity issues. You have all the normal 90s problems with movies, and plus some aged CGI. However, the story itself, the writing and the acting is where this movie truly shines, as well as the score for this movie as well. So, this basically is about a robot purchased to perform menial household tasks, begins to experience emotions and creative thought, and learns the intricacies of humanity while trying to stop those who created him from destroying him. Now, that can, or most people might misinterpret, for this movie is going to have the company that created it hunting it down. That's not what this movie has. This movie has them trying to basically, or has a corporation. I'm going to go into a little bit of spoilers here. It's like, well, you'll eventually have to bring it in for repairs, and then we'll still get our hands on this thing. Because they see it as an anomaly. He brings it in, he wonders what they're thinking, and it's like, you don't want a refund, you don't want a replacement, but we do have to look at this thing. We do have to take it apart, or we can reassemble it to you good as new, because it's not supposed to develop these things without its personality chip on. And he develops his own personality without the personality chip. And I love the deadpan humor that he has, or that is delivered in this movie. He then learns to tell jokes. He is taught, in essence, by Sam Neill, who is the owner of the robot. And as the years go on, as the characters grow up, Beth Davids, who plays Little Miss Amanda, she ends up actually catching feelings for the robot. She actually asks him what she would do in a certain situation, because somebody proposed to her boyfriend proposed to her, but she has a friend that she really likes, and she likes spending time with him and whatnot. And he says, well, that the answer's easy, marry your friend. Except that she doesn't understand that, or he doesn't understand that she's talking about him. So obviously people can see the conundrum. Now, you would think that is the all of it, where he actually records the wedding and whatnot, and years later, after he finally gains his freedom to travel and look for others like him, because over the years his model is obsolete. He comes back after 20 years. And he only leaves after Sam Neill's character dies on his deathbed. He comes back 20 years later, and he gets upgrades. He finds Oliver Platt. Oliver Platt doesn't even show up until the latter half of this movie, and honestly, this movie paces very well. It shows the progression of time, and the story doesn't give you any sort of cool off period. It's a really well paced movie, because you also feel you don't need the cool off period. This movie is just over 2 hours, I believe. Yep, 2 hours 11 minutes, and honestly, that's actually a very good amount of time, because they cover everything they need in it. And I truly love how you see the upgrades go on, and then you see the further futuristic upgrades for him. And it just really, the humor is very well placed. And having the granddaughter of Little Miss start catching feelings for Andrew, but Andrew wants to become human because he is tired of losing everybody who cared for him when he first started working with the family. Sam Neill started treating him as a member of the family, getting him a lawyer, a bank account, and making sure that he was treated as humanly as possible. And he picked up on that. Instead of an AI that wants to rule the world, instead it yearns for a more personal life. And he literally arranges himself to die in this movie at the end. And he becomes as close to human as humanly possible. And he ends up becoming the significant other of the great-granddaughter of his owner, which is very nice. I mean, this movie has all the right emotional tugs. I think the writing is well placed with the humor. And this movie, Robin Williams, God, I miss him as an actor. It really does bring the pain back that this man ended himself because of depression. I wonder what could have brought him to that, because he had such a gift and unfortunately that gift was taken away from people because of his ability to make people laugh in a very unique way, in a way that only he could do. And this movie really brought home some very valuable life lessons. Don't mistreat somebody because you think it is lesser, or they are lesser than you. I mean, this is a movie that kids can learn lessons from, even though it's not really for kids at all. This movie is PG, parental guidance suggested. But I really do like this movie. Now, objectively, I do feel that this movie nowadays, this movie's aged digital effects, a few writing problems here and there, some acting here and there. I think that this movie is actually more of a 8 out of 10. It's still a pass. It still does well. However, the aged special effects is what really hurts it in most cases when it comes to digital effects. However, a lot of the practical effects does a very good, or are also very well done. Now, subjectively, this movie is pure 10 out of 10. I laughed, I cried. This movie, my voice broke when I was trying to talk to my mom when we were both watching it together. It was just that beautiful of a movie. I mean, this movie isn't one of those action-packed shoot 'em up stuff. This is a movie of a great story, of a great drama, really. It's a sci-fi drama that has well placed moments in it. Moviegoer, it's pure 10 out of 10. I didn't get bored watching this movie. I enjoyed watching it. Robin Williams has a gift in this movie, and he gives that gift very well. And Oliver Platt and Robin Williams in a movie together is also that is a true treasure. Because Oliver Platt and him playing off each other, I mean, he's like, well, what about your head? What about my head, Andrew? It's humongous. I mean, it's fun. I'm like, oh my God, that is freaking hilarious. And the other actors, especially Kirsten Warren, who plays a female NDR at the named Galatea, she played that role extremely well, and even her character grew much like Andrew's character grew. And it really is wonderful to see how these robots evolve. Now, they do have the 3 laws of robotics, how they cannot harm humans, how they cannot harm them, or how they can only defend themselves as long as they don't harm themselves. Now, the laws of robotics are complete. They should never have brought in the laws of robotics into this movie because it's violated immediately in the movie and then at the end of the movie. Because his character, or Robin Williams' character's wife, essentially, and significant other asks to be unplugged so that she can die. And, well, if it was a robot, it can't do that. It would violate the laws of robotics, doing harm to a human, essentially, causing that human to expire. Also, he jumps out a window when he's a robot earlier in the film, he jumps out a window when one of the little kids that doesn't like him tells him to jump out the window. Well, that would have caused the second law, which is do no harm to yourself, as long as you don't harm or preserve your own self, as long as you don't harm another human doing it. That also would have been a violation of the second law of robotics. So yeah, this movie this movie just takes the laws of robotics, throws it out the window. So it would have been better if they didn't put that in there. However, when you're dealing with AI and robotics, it does some people say it might be necessary to put it in there. However, I didn't feel it was, because the laws are flouted in this movie. It's everywhere. But yeah, Bicentennial Man is a movie that I enjoy thoroughly, and I recommend anybody who hasn't seen it to definitely watch it. It's one that really, really pushes the right emotional chords, Anyway, folks, that is going to be the video. Y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think of Bicentennial Man if you've seen it? Did you like it? Did you not? What were your thoughts? Anyway, this has been Orange Hat Reviews. Have a wonderful day, and always remember, stay humble.